Okay, the recording has started. Wow.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everybody. Well, thank you for joining White John White. So, today's session we have an amazing friend of mine here, an awesome person. The person of John White is the founder of Natada. Tada, which is currently in Belch University and many other campuses. And the awesome thing about this is that I know him personally from campus, and I was able to observe his journey of building this company of his, and he's still in the process from his wealth of knowledge, his experience, his struggles, not just the wins. And I believe that anyone, be student, anybody looking to build a company and a product would have something to learn one way or the other, right? And they'll be able to avoid one or two mistakes from his experience. So we would have it. You can go ahead and share your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tolani. I'll just share my screen, but I really appreciate the opportunity you're
Uh,
giving to me to be in this platform. I think we spoke about this during
yeah,
our undergrad, and I'm happy to see you doing this already. So I'll just go ahead and share
privilege.
my screen. So I'll just talk about some things and go go from there. Then you can ask your questions. So
Yeah,
um,
that,
give me a minute.
yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, coming
You
up.
can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
can.
can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes. You can go ahead.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Um, so as Tolani have said, I'm the founder and CEO of Natada. Natada is a campus transportation brand that it's focused on clean energy and as comfort. My journey as a student building Natada was exciting, overwhelming, and at the same time it was a great experience. So I would start like I was like every student in Belgium during my 300 level, and the course we had, I think it was 100 level, 200 problem solving, and it taught you how you identify problem and you try to solve a problem. So I was in the campus like every student and trying to identify problems, trying to notice problems and see what I can provide a solution around. Instead of complaining, I asked myself, how can I build a solution to this problem? So I think some of the challenges I noticed during the period of building Antada was, first of all, I was going for an exam in New Horizon, and the guy was like, okay, I don't have, my transfer is not working. I'm not with cash. The old man was like, "Whoa, you're wasting my time. I need my money." And I was going for an exam. Everything was now becoming so overwhelming at the same time. And when I sought out that, when I was able to pay him his money, went for the exams and came back, and I asked myself, how can I actually solve a problem around this? And also, many times when you try to go to class, you don't see tricycles around the campus, or they are in one place. So the question was, how can I solve a problem around this? So I think our first iteration of Natada, I think we first of all ask students what they think about the problem. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey. You may not have the money, but as far as you have the curiosity, the ability to ask, what can I do better from the current system? What is running now? How can I make it better? And as far as you're also willing to learn and say, okay, I know this is the solution. There are things I don't know about the solution to provide the adequate solution. I need to learn. So you have to learn, relearn, and unlearn a lot of things while building in the journey. And that's what I did. I learned a lot of things. One of the things I learned was having to product design. I learned product design during the journey. I learned how to pitch. I learned other I learned other um, skills during the journey. So I learned other skills during the journey. Sorry, my network went off. Sorry. So
That's okay. See you.
can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you, but your
Can
screen
you
is
see me?
not. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Is it sharing?
All right, perfect. Yeah, it's perfect now.
Oh, okay. So I learned a lot of skill during the journey, problem solving, pitching. I learned finance at the same time during my journey. So you have to be goal driven because at the beginning point, when you see the idea and see the solution, you are excited. But I tell you, during the journey will test you. It will test you, it will test your ability, it will test your patience. But the question is, what is what am I aiming for? So you have to aim for a vision. So that's basically enough to start working on a vision or a problem. First of all, the best the best startup starts with real pinpoint pinpoint, and they ask themselves what problems are around them, what problem did they want to solve. They have to clearly define the problem. And for us, our clear definition of the problem was we want to improve the transportation system. Less worry about I am going from this class to this class, and I don't know who can carry me, which tricycle can carry me. I don't have keke guy's number. We don't want you to disturb yourself around that, but we want to be able to solve those problems for you. Are you getting me? So that's where we started the idea from. The idea started for the need to make transportation accessible and reliable. With just the press of your mobile phone, you can order, you can book a ride on the road, you enter, you can still pay with your mobile phone. So you don't have this discussion of, oh, what is the price? Oh, the price is this. No, 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 no. It's a fixed price, which we are also working with the school on. So those are the key areas of my journey. I I I I had to define properly when building. My data started because of students that were struggling around easy transportation movement, affordability, accessibility. Yet we have not to the full product point, but we are building gradually. And when building gradually, you may start you when you start, the operation may not be very balanced, but during time to come, you get a balanced operation. As far as the team is ready to work and goal driven. So find a problem, then build the solutions to the problem. You have to find the problem. You have to well define the problem. What is the problem am I solving? Who are my target users? Who are my customers? What are they facing? What are their pinpoints? What are they what systems are they presently using to solve that problem? How can I improve that system to build a better solution? So you have to consider all those stuff, you have to consider all those things to make sure that you are building a product that is valued by users. So from idea to execution, execution becomes more more tricky because you may have an idea, you may find the problem, executing that solution is where the problem is, because execution is the backbone of that idea. The moment you can't execute that idea, it just dies on paper. So you have to be able to say, okay, I want to execute this idea. So I want to be able to execute this idea. I have an idea, but I want to execute it. How do I start? What what things do I need to put in place? Oh, first of all, you have to understand the user. For you to understand the user, you have to send out surveys to your target users. That's what we did at the beginning of Natada. We sent out surveys, sent it to my group chat, student group chat, and we got feedback. And those feedback formed the MVP, or the minimum viable product. And the MVP will be key functionalities that solves that particular problem. It's not the whole solution, but key functionalities that solves that particular problem. You may fail at the beginning point, but you go back and ask yourself, why did we fail on this? I think that's what happened to us. Let me give you a story. At the beginning point of Natada, we deployed the product in my 400 level, first 400 level second semester. That was when we deployed the first product of Natada. And it was deployed with the already existing tricycle system. And we tried making the product work, but we understood that we need, users were complaining, oh, I'll order, but my ride will be cancelled. In fact, when I order, no rides are coming at all. The question becomes, how can we be able to cater for these users better? And that's why we thought about it and said, okay, why not we look at a situation where we also bring in our tricycles, which are eco-friendly, which are also very comfortable for students. Why the rain, when the rain is falling or when the sun is shining. So we now brought in our electric tricycles, which are looking very luxurious and comfortable. And when we brought it at first, we tried the product again. We tried the MVP. We saw the growth in the MVP. Okay, people are now using it. People are ordering. But there were challenges we were facing, which was technical challenges, and we were constantly improving on those challenges and telling ourselves, how can we make this product better? Even right now, we are telling ourselves, how can we make this product better? So one of the things we want to use to make the product better is users' feedback. Users' feedback are the backbone of our organization. We value your feedback very well. Like, your feedback helps us iterate and deploy better product. We have our main product coming out this February that caters for some of the challenges students faced in this new product, the MVP we deployed. So our main product has a lot of features, even scheduling. So you can schedule for a ride, knowing that your class is like 7, 8 o'clock. You can schedule for a ride the day before. The day before. Are you getting me? So when the driver comes in the morning, he knows that he's coming to pick you up. Are you getting me? So those are some of the areas we are improving on. Also, the payment, the payment method. We are also bringing more payment method in to be able to allow students to pay better and use the platform, like our card system and transfer and other systems we are bringing in. But later on, you will see the some of the products that we are launching this month. So we did not wait for the perfect product. because the perfect product is driven by users' feedback. The perfect product is driven by what the customer is saying about the product, their complaints. And for us, for us to have the perfect product is for us to be able to solve key complaints that users have reached out to us about. And that is working to us. That we want the power to be powered by the user and not us, okay, I think we should do this thing. No, it's feedback from the users we use to improve our product. So start small, start now and improve later as you grow with users' feedback. The key is that you have real users that you can communicate to and tell, okay, what challenges are you facing? What problems are you facing? And how can we solve those problems you are facing? It's very important for us. Um, for every great company, for every great startup, for every great idea, for every great execution of an idea, you need a team. And those team are people that we believe in your vision. People that when you tell them the idea, they're excited more than you. I think all my team members are more excited of the idea more than me because they see the problem and they see the solution. So you need people that are very motivated and ready to work with you. Their excitement will make sure that they want a better product for the user. They want to brainstorm around how can we deploy a better product for the user? How can we solve the customer challenges on a daily basis? That's our goal. Customer challenges, customer complaint on a daily basis. And you have to have a team for that. You have to have a team that will tell you, okay, I think this goes from the user review that we have looked at. So building a team is very, very important. They have to believe in the vision, are willing to grow, honest and hardworking, and they question every step of the way. I feel going this way will will make will cost us more. So the team the team members should be able to they should be able to question every decisions, because the moment you say, okay, I have a vision, I stick to the vision, I move without feedback, without listening to your team, you will end up building a product for yourself rather for the users and for the for the team as well. You end up building a product for yourself. So you have to listen. I think the early days of your building should be more about listening. Listening to the users, listening to your team members, open the doors for them to make contribution, um, um, criticize solutions, and then grow with them at the same time. Why you're doing that? I think this is the most sensitive part. Fund and resources. Now you have an idea and you have a crazy idea, you want to do this, but funds are required. And I think funds are very important for the idea to be successful also, because at the early stage of Natala, the question was, how do we get the funds to like buy tricycle? We are students, we don't have money.
Yeah.
Where you say?
I said
So where
that's
do we get the funds to
that's
buy
truly the
tricycle?
exactly where is the fund going to come from? Yeah.
Where's the funds going to come from? It's crazy. Well, I tell you, I feel we don't have knowledge on fundraising, and um, that's very important in building a startup. You have to know, when I'm building, where do I get funds from? Now, there are different ways. Now you can bootstrap. When you're bootstrapping, you're using your money to first of all validate the idea. The idea has to be validated before you go to an investor and tell an investor, this is my idea. Because when you go to an investor and tell an investor, he will look at, okay, are you solving a problem? Okay, now you're solving a problem. Good and fine. What is the market size? How long will it take to be profitable? What is your um your what is the initial market you can capture? Are you getting me? What is the current market? Who are your competitors? He will ask you those questions. Are you getting me? So you have to first of all ask yourself, okay, I have this amount of resources. My co-founder have this amount of resources, and some of my team members have this amount of resources. How can we come together to validate the idea? When the idea is validated, maybe you validate the idea to a point of MVP. When you validate it to that point, it gives you more leverage. When you go to an investor and say, okay, we have been able to build this product, we've been able to sign up this amount of customers, but we believe that we can scale this product by bringing in extra funds to be able to cater for this problem, cater for that problem, and cater for this problem. It makes more sense. They will ask you for your numbers. You can show them of revenue from monthly to yearly to quarterly. So they know that, okay, this is where I'm putting my money into, and this is what is obtainable from that point of view. So you have to first of all also study finance, study how how to manage money, because they are giving you money to manage the money, not to go and spend the money. Are you getting me? Also, you have to manage your personal funds to make sure you validate the idea. And that's what we did. When the early days of Natala, we used our personal funds to validate the idea. The first product that was launched was from our personal funds. We validated that, okay, there's a customer base for this. Before we went to investors and told the investors, okay, now when you go to investors, there are different strategy. You may have an angel investor. After bootstrapping, you now be looking at angel investor. An angel investor maybe be a mentor, somebody that believes in the vision that you are trying to build. An angel investor comes in and helps you build the idea properly, guides you also. The next thing you're looking at is, from that stage of angel investor, you're looking at seed funding, pre-seed funding, which for those stage you'll be looking at venture capitals, financial institutions. And for you to be able to do that, you have to validate the idea to a point you have your correct numbers from operation on ground. That means you have executed the product, you have paying customers, and paying customers bring in revenue on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Those revenue are calculated to project for what is obtainable in the market. So those are some of the things you also need to look into when looking at raising funds also. Um Now, challenges and failure, you have a lot of challenges. As I said earlier, we had a lot of challenges at the beginning point of the product. We are having challenges, we are still solving those challenges. The beginning point of the product, when we deployed the product at first, during my 400 level second semester, we deployed the product at first, and the next thing we were seeing is a lot of complaints, technical faults, pressure from operation, like, what is going on. Drivers are not accepting right, they're not accepting orders. What can we do better? So we immediately you see a system that is having fault. The question is, what is the solution to that problem? The same way you started the idea, you found the problem, found a solution. The same way you apply it to your system. Okay, this is happening. What is the problem? What is the possible solution that we can resolve? And your team has to be a team that you guys think fast. Because when your product is on ground, you have to be thinking fast. Like, what is going on? How can we solve this problem? How can we solve this problem? This user is not losing his money by funding his wallet, and you have to make sure that you tie all the knots, technical, operational, and financial, so you don't have loopholes in the system. Very, very important. Sometimes you feel burnt out, but I feel it's part of the job. You feel a lot of load, but you have to put your mind like, okay, this is the problem. What is the solution? When everybody is complaining in the room, that is what you should be thinking about. This is the problem. What is the solution? This is the problem. What is the solution? So failure is not is the opposite of success. So you have to fail to be also successful, because you learn from failure. So failure is part of success, and every challenge you have teach you a lesson, and those lessons helps you when you're building another product. You become better and better. And I am a reflection of that. And I'm growing. I'm looking at building more product in the future, and growing to become a better entrepreneur at the end of the day. And our vision for Natada, as much as we are operational, we have not gotten to the point we want to get to, and we are trying to improve to get there. And our vision for Natada is to help every student move around the campus sim- very easy, and we want them to be able to save time at the same time. So I want to move from here to here, and at my room I can just order, and the tricycle is there to pick you up. You get to your location easy, comfortably, and relaxed while doing other work, school work, creativity work. Are you getting me? We don't want to have issues in transportation or payment in transportation. That's why we are launching our um, card system very soon. Now that you will be able to use the card, tap, even though your phone is down and stuff like that. As far as you have money in your card, you can just tap it on our an NFT device, and then it will read it. So those are some of the areas we want to improve on. And one of our major goal is also to reduce carbon footprint in the environment. Like, we want, when you walk on the campus, you see eco-friendly technologies, eco-friendly technology that are depicting the future. Tomorrow future is clean energy, clean transportation, and that's what we want students to know about. We want students to be friendly to. That when they go there, they rather choose a friendly eco-friendly system than a system that keep polluting the environment. So those are some of our vision in Antada, and we are working towards it. We have not fully achieved it, but we are working towards it, and we are getting feedback for us to improve our system at the same time. So so I'll just say this today. So you have to start where you are, you help who you can, and then grow from there. So you start where you are, you solve a problem for somebody, and you grow from there. So this is the problem. This is where we can start from. this is the solution we can provide, then you can there at the same time. So I think I'll just give you five key lessons. Start easy, learn consistently, learn consistently, take risks. You have to take risks because and you relearn. From that failure, you understand what you should not do next time. Build network, mentors, founders. Talk to a lot of people, your peers that have the same mindset with you, and just stay consistent in the journey. And I think these key areas will help you in your entrepreneurship journey. There are just five, but I tell you, if you keep on them, you will go far, even as an undergraduate at the same time. Um, so I hope to see a lot of us building solutions for problems. I want to challenge you today to ask yourself what problems we I solve on campus. Like what problems are on your campus you can solve, and then don't just be attending event, don't just be taking notes, but take actions to those problems and start something, join a startup, build project, create impact. And you don't know, maybe your startup will be the next big thing in Nigeria or in the world entirely. So I think that's it for me. I think
All right.
thank you
Wow.
for.
That's really amazing, right? And honestly, honestly, some of my questions, right, that I have on ground already, because some of the questions I have on ground already have been answered,
Can you hear
right?
me?
Have been answered. I
Can
can.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the what makes your journey very interesting is the fact that a lot of times what we when we want to learn from, let's say, somebody, most at times that individual, right, has already become, let's say, big, or has built this business, a multi-dollar or multi-billion dollars business. So in that kind of context, right, as somebody that is just starting, you are not able to have a foresight into the journey, right? But in your case right now, you are still in the process. You just started, right? So we are able to have an idea that this is
Yes.
somebody that just graduated recently, was formerly a student. So it gives that possibility to any other person that this is possible. Whether students, even students can believe that this is possible. They can see a possibility that they can also notice a problem, identify a problem, and with the things you've shared, right, can be able to put up a team and develop from there. So right now, I have a few questions. Like I said, through your presentation, like your journey, you've actually answered some of the questions, and I was like, wow, wow, wow. But nonetheless, right, I still have a few questions to ask you. So,
Okay.
and the audience can also ask questions, right? Yeah. So my first question, right, is this: when it comes to the journey of having a startup, building a company or building a product, right? Like you said, there's always this part of it in the journey that is very, very hard. Sometimes you may lose faith, or you may just lose faith in what you are doing. You may not even see the possibility again, and then you're like, and you're putting in the effort, you're not seeing a result, and all hopes are just going down. So, and I believe that for every single startup, because we've heard of different stories of startup, there is that point whereby things are not adding up to what you expect. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, are not adding up to your effort. So at that point, what do you do, right? How did you navigate that point of, let's say you're building or you've launched and things are not working because you know I've asked you before, right? And you told me about a point whereby you had a team, and the team. Some people left the team and all of that, and you had to build up another team again. How do you undo that part of the process? Because that's where most people give up. That's what I've noticed, right? Even generally, people don't have the ability to persist until they succeed or get the result that they want. So I would love you to share with us in your own experience, how did you undo that?
So I think for me it was more like what is the vision, and can my team members relate to the vision? And when I was going out to reach out to my team, and the question, I told them the vision. This is the vision. This is what we are trying to achieve, and they were more excited about the vision, about what we want to achieve. Yes, sometimes things happen, and some things that are not meant to be start happening. People lose focus of where the vision is and where we are going to because of the struggles to get there. And the only thing you can do is, as the founder or the CEO, is to keep believing and keep working. Like, at the point, you have to keep working, keep believing, and keep motivating your team. Even though anything happens, anybody leaves, you have to keep motivating your team and asking your team, do you believe in this vision? You have to ask them, do you believe in this vision? Is it a vision you will want to pursue with us? And you have to make them understand that the vision is the key aspect of the company, because we have a vision, we have a goal. You don't lose sight of the vision. The moment you lose sight of the vision, there is a lot of confusion. They don't, this person don't know where we are going to, don't know where we are going to. But the moment everybody knows the vision, I think it solves a lot of problems.
All right. Wow. That's really helpful. That's really helpful. So what I can derive from that is that there will always be times that are hard, but it's important to keep reminding
Yeah.
yourself and believing in the vision, because if you can keep seeing the picture of that vision, then you will keep on taking steps towards that vision. Wow, insightful. So let's take it a step further. Another question, right? Because this is targeted to students. Let's say, let me take up one of my questions here, which I know would really help. So you started while you were a student, right? That means you were on campus, you were attending classes, you had assignments, you had exams, a lot of things. So how did you balance your academics with building a startup, right, in the university without burning out? Because you are not just focusing on you're not just how do I put it? You are still a student, like I'm saying, right? So you are not having like two things or even more to handle, and then you're as a startup, you need a lot of focus to be able to build things. So how did you balance those things?
So one of my mentors will always say, "There's no work-life balance." and I always ask him why he says those things before I even started doing it. But I now understood what he was saying, that there is no work-life balance. When I was undergrad, I had to go to class. My parents paid my tuition. I had to read my book. I had to work work on some of my project assignments. Are you getting me? And I had to build also. So the question is time management. What am I do at this time? I'm not going to class. What am I doing? At this time, I'm not going to class. What am I doing? I think one of the most stressful areas for me was the point where I had to travel across state to pitch in Nigeria, and the school was on section, and I think we had text the next week. I think we had test the next week. And I had to travel to Abuja. I left to Abuja to pitch in Yaradua Center. I pitched. The next day, I was going back to school to prepare for the test. Uh, or that we had. So you just have to understand that there is no work-life balance right now. You have to do the work or just decide not to do the work. That's just it. You have to do the work, manage your time. That's all. And you don't need to like focus on other unnecessary school activities, as far as you are doing your schoolwork and your startup. Some guys that are building startup, that's why you don't see them all around outside. They're always classes classes indoors, because they know that there's no balance. You have to make that balance yourself by managing your time.
All right, wow, thank you very much. I'll just ask one more question, then I will allow the audience that we have right now, right? So if you have any question, they will ask, then we'll pick up from there. So, one more question is this. So, when it comes to startups, right? Um, when it comes to startup, because personally also I'm trying to, I'm building a product. We've discussed about this, right? I'm working on a product.
Yeah.
I've identified a problem, and we are working to build a solution towards it. And funny how I've been facing some of the challenges, right, that you mentioned, and we've been able to discuss about that. So it resonates a lot with me, right, and even with many other students that have a problem they have identified, right. So uh, sorry, I'm coming.
Okay.
All right, very good, very good, very good, very good. I've been able to see what I want to say. So now you talked about how you did your first launch in 400 level second semester, right? And now you are a graduate, right? That has been like almost a year, 2 years, right? So if you were starting this, if you were to begin a startup now again, right? If you're trying to solve a solution now again, or provide a solution again for another problem, right? What are the things that you would advise somebody to do in the first 6 to 3 months? Because what you've said, right, you've struggled, you've had a lot of challenges while you started your first product, and you said that if you're going to start another product, you'll be more faster, right, because you've learned a lot of things. So I want you to pinpoint those things that you feel that the mistakes you made, or the things that would make anyone that is starting up right now in the first 3 to 6 months be able to move at a faster speed. I've been learning from your own experience. Yeah.
Number one, delay is costly. Delay is costly. So right now, I'm also building a product, but it's going to be AI powered product for founders that helps them navigate financials, their what their financials are, what they are spending on, help them evaluate their idea, help them evaluate the network of their startup. So it's already on the way. So what we are doing is, first of all, as I said before, who are your target audience? Who are your target customers? My target customers are founders. You send a survey to them. You ask them what they are facing. What problems are they facing? When you ask them what problems are they facing, build an MVP. Build an MVP to currently solve those major challenges they are facing. That MVP evolves with feedbacks. Those feedbacks help you build the perfect product. So I'll just say move fast and move with feedbacks when you're moving. That's one thing. Don't delay. The moment you say, "Oh, I need to do this. I need us to get here. You are delaying, and that is not what the customer may be saying. So you need to listen to what the customer is saying for you to be able to solve the customer problem. So what I would just say is move fast and listen to the customer.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Delay is very costly. That speaks to me because there have been an element of delay from my own end, but now I have insight. So I would love to ask. Let's ask our live audience here. Olamide, you are here. Do you have any question for our speaker? If you have any question, you can unmute your mic and speak up, or you can just write your questions in the chat. I will read it out, and the questions will be answered. Okay, you can go ahead.
No, I don't have any question for now.
All right, that's fine. That's totally fine. Thank you very much. All right, so okay, all right. We're gradually coming to the end, but you know now there's something again that I would want you to tell the audience, because we have about a couple of minutes to end the call. But let's say let's give a scenario now, because I want people to have insight, to be able to have an insight into your journey, like into your journey. So, for instance, let's pick this. You had a team at the beginning, a team of devs, a team of you are a designer, so you design the product. Yeah, you have a team of developers and engineers that were building the product, coding and all of that. And at a point, right, at a point, like we discussed, at a point, um, there were a lot of issues with the code. It was breaking, and from time to time, right, and everything was messy. It was very messy. And then at that point, and also at the same time, your I think you need to share this, right. Your co-founder at that point left, was not joining, was not going to stay in the company. And for anybody starting up a company, your co-founder is like your backbone. He's the one that reasons with you. He's the one that you guys sit down together to talk even before going to discuss with your founding team, right. You guys discuss. So how was it for you? Because that was a lot. Because for him to be your co-founder, you've trusted that this guy, we are going to continue this journey. Are going to make a lot of impact together. Then at some point, he is leaving for one reason or the other, right? And from what from what I learned, and you told me, you had to come with another, you had to build up another team, and you had to keep on moving at the same pace, right? I would love you to share that part of your experience with people.
Oh, okay. I think at the beginning point we had a lot of challenges, technical challenges, and I mentioned that there was a lot of complaints, and there was a lot of instability in the product, and we worked around what was the problem. We worked around building a better code, building a better code system, and building a better this thing product to deploy out there. And I think we achieved that because we understood the mistake we made in the database, in the code, and everything. And we understood that okay, we need to do better, and we changed our architecture of how the code will be and everything, and we were able to deploy a better product out there. And secondly, the conversation about my team, some of my team members leaving, it was not easy because yes, the product was failing. The product was failing, whether we liked it or not. There was a lot of failure we saw in the product at that period of time. So anybody in their right sense feel like, okay, what am I doing here? Are you getting me? Everybody in their mind sense will ask that question, what am I doing here? When this product is failing, I don't know what they are actually doing. I don't know where they are actually going. Are you getting me? So everybody will ask that question. But I think I was clear with where we were going. And as much as the present situations were really tough, but I was clear with where we were going, and I still tried to like tell the team this is a present problem that will be solved. Yes, it may take time. And one thing you need to understand, none of us were experienced building companies. Because I tell you, if any of us were experienced building company, that product would not have failed the way it failed. But it failed at the early point because we needed to learn. Now, as I said before, when I was doing the presentation, you fail and learn and build better systems. So we failed and we learned and built better systems. That is just the whole point at the end of the day. We failed to learn to build better system, and we grew as an enterprise. We grew our enterprise and our experience as entrepreneurs at the same time. So we are growing at the same time. But none of us at that period were experienced. But when I saw that failure, when I saw that failure, what came into my head was, what was the core vision of Natada? What problems are we solving? And who are our users? Do we have users? Yes. And I answered all those questions right in my head. We had core problems we were solving, and we had real users that were ready to start using the product when we solved those problems. And I said, this is a temporary problem. Let's go. There will be a solution for it. We have to keep building, we have to keep working, we have to keep going. And we did that. We are still growing.
Yeah,
You need to understand that we are still growing.
yeah.
We are still looking at our some of our systems that are having issues. We are bringing better solutions to it. And funny enough, by the end of this year, you will now see Nantada is doing something better in terms of having our own fleet to be better in terms of technicalities. I think that's where we are having some issues with technicalities, and we are building a better technical on ground team to be able to solve some of these challenges for us.
Wow, thank you very much. That shows that you, for anyone, who having a problem they've identified and trying to provide a solution to it, they don't need to know everything, because I think that's what stops some people, right? To be honest, even from taking the first step, from starting. So you don't need to know everything. Take the step, start something, have a conviction of your vision. Look at people that are like-minded, that can support as a team to join you. If you find somebody that has done what you want to do, reach out to them. Let them advise you that they can make your journey shorter and advise you so that you can avoid a lot of mistakes. But this is actually very insightful and it's beautiful. I'm personally looking forward to a lot of amazing things that are coming from Natada, and hopefully, probably then we'll have another episode of this session again, to share more
Yeah, we
experiences.
are having a lot of amazing. We are having a lot of amazing things that will come from Akada this year. A lot of amazing things. We are hoping to scale better. We are hoping to bring better investment to structure ourselves in the e-mobility space in Nigeria. We are hoping to have more voice and more visibility around Nigeria and the problems we are solving around campus in Nigeria in total. We are having to do that, and we are having to own our own market better.
All right, one more thing before we round up. One more thing I would love you to share with everyone. So, what are the materials, let's say some resources that helped you in your journey? Because while you are going in this journey, you have to read, you have to learn. Like you said, you have to learn about finance, learn about pitching yourself. A lot of things come into being an entrepreneur and even starting a company. What are the resources that you can recommend for anyone that is starting out and that they can just go to and gain knowledge to help their journey?
Okay, some of the things I recommend will be some podcasts will be Afropolitan. I think that's a very amazing podcast. It talks about in-depth knowledge on finance and fundraising. It talks about capital injection, and it talks about a lot of VCs and large investment coming into the African space. Some books I also looked at reading, I read is The Power of Habit. Now, what that book do to you, what the book will focus on is how customers become your how customers end up becoming your customers consistently. Now, I think I need to break that down better. Now, the power of habit, what it focuses on is the mental state of a customer. What is the customer thinking about when using your product? And how can you make sure your product sticks to the customer to the longest period of time? And those are some of the book those are some of the book I'm still reading, and I'm still learning. I'm still in my journey. Are you getting me? I'm also learning in terms of real time learning. I'm taking some programs, and in one of the programs we had the CEO of LE Game. I think is a gaming studio in Europe, and he spoke about a lot of ideas in terms of how you define your ideas and how an idea is meant to be, and how um, um, you structure your solution to target your users. It's very important that your users are like gold shell in for a startup in the early days, because they are the ones that will define your progress at that period. They are the ones that will the early customers. They are the ones that will sell your product also, because they will tell their friends to tell another person why you're doing your also marketing. They will tell their stories of your product. So customers is key. Customer is key.
Wow.
And I think that's it. The power of the diary of the CEO.
Okay.
Like, that's my best. That's my best. The diary of the CEO is. I like the way it's been the interviewer is being trying to get in-depth knowledge, trying to understand where those founders are coming from and what product they are building. It's very, very beautiful podcast. I watch it also, and I learn from them. So I'm still in my learning journey. I have a lot of book to read. I have a lot of podcasts to watch. I have a
All
lot
right.
of reading to do. So
All right. Wow. Finally, we've come to the end of this live event, and I really want to appreciate you, uh, my good friend, CEO and co-founder of Natada, for making out time to share your experience and insight for any other person that is looking to build a startup, solve a solution, solve a problem, build a company, right? And yeah, I believe that people will gain value from this. Yeah. And you can even refer back to this, this video. It will be available on YouTube, and you can refer back to it in 3 years from now to look at how the journey has been.
yeah,
Yeah. So thank you so much.
yeah. I hope in the next few years.
Yeah.
I say in the next maybe few years from now,
Yeah.
when we refer to the video, we are in another section, but in a bigger way. Maybe
Yeah.
we will be in one of these European countries, and you be in the interviewer, and who knows, talking about the African market. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, 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 so much. So, do you have any, parting words for anybody watching this? Something that you want to leave with them before we round up?
I think my parting words will be dream, dream and build, and be mad about your dream.
Mm,
You have to be mad. As an entrepreneur, if you're not mad about your dream, uh, I think you will not be able to
realize
work
it.
in that space,
Uh-huh.
because there will be a lot of rejection, and when you're rejected, it's not it's not the end.
Constant
What do I
improvement.
need to work on? Are you getting me? What do I need to improve? Who do I need to pitch next? You move.
Yeah.
You don't break down. You don't break down. There's no time for emotional like
Yeah.
breakdown or anything. You have to keep moving,
Uh,
and you have to keep going no matter the situation.
All right.
at hand.
All right. Thank you very much. Dream and build. Dream and build. Wow. Thank you so much. And we are calling
Dream
it.
and build.
Yeah, dream and build. Thank you so much. So, see you. And yeah, looking at the great things that will eventually come forth. So, thank you all for joining. And I believe that everybody else will get from this session.